This is Infection, the H1Z1 podcast recorded live on Tuesday, March 31st, 2015, episode 11. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Infection. Infection is the H1Z1 podcast, and it's your source for the latest information on H1Z1, where we bring you the latest news, changelogs, developments, strategies, and speculations each and every week. My name is Nick Craig. At Gamecast Live is my Twitter handle, and infectionpodcast.com is the website. Joining me, as he does each and every week, Brian Aldridge.
Hello, and you didn't say your
I saw your smirk there.
I was proud of you. I was like, oh, you didn't say it.
I saw your smirk. You were looking at me like I was going to screw it up. I didn't.
Yeah, I was waiting for 2 weeks in a row. I was like,
I didn't. It was 1 week. That was 1 week.
Of course, to find me, the easiest way is just go to google.com/plus Brian Aldrich, and that's Brian with an I. So Brian Aldrich, and that'll take you right to my Google Plus page. Or if you want to go to my blog, which has a link to whatever social media you might want, that's biteoftech.com, and that is bite of tech with an I in the bite. So also go to our, as you said, our infectionpodcast.com. It has a form in there to get a hold of us directly. And it has links to all of our different, our Twitch channel, our Reddit account, Google Plus, everything that you might want to get regarding the show.
Yeah, and that also includes our Steam group, which is one of the best ways to connect with us. We've got over 100 members in our Steam group now. So if you're looking for a community of people that play H1Z1, definitely check out our Steam group, and you can either get to that by going to the website, or if you go on Steam and you search H1Z1 Podcast or Infection, we rank pretty high. You won't miss it. It's the album art for the show. Yeah. So that's that for all of that stuff. Let's see, Brian. Pretty interesting week. A lot of good core game changes this week, which was nice. Not as much of the aesthetic, that kind of stuff. A lot of core game functionality stuff was changed this week, which I like.
Well, and so last week we'd announced during the show that whole thing with the banned messages. That's been consistent. People weren't sure if that was going to be something that was, something they're getting away a whole bunch of them at once, and then it was going to calm down. But pretty consistently throughout the day, if you play, those banned messages just keep on going by. I mean, they're not one every 10 seconds, which would become a problem. But I would say every 10 minutes, there's a couple banned messages at least.
Yeah, and I'm scrolling through some right here. There's a nice like a little archive on Reddit of just some of the funnier banned messages here, which is interesting. So scrolling through that, something interesting I noticed about this screenshot though. This guy's H1Z1 virus is at 100%. Don't know if you noticed that, but I noticed that when I was looking at it and wasn't sure because
I haven't seen it, and I'm wondering if he's on some sort of a test server.
That's exactly what I was thinking, because I haven't seen anybody's go past 3 or 4%. That's the max I've seen. His is at 100.
Well, and I had mine at 3% after a certain change that they did, and then when I died,
it was gone.
The virus went away.
Yeah, so this guy's either been alive an extreme amount of time, or he's a dev. Something like that. I thought it was a little interesting. I was like looking. I was like his HUD. I was like, God. I was like, there's this like bright purple icon. See if I can pull this up here. There's this bright purple icon. Can't really show it on stream right here, but his H1Z1 virus is at 100%. So there's just something interesting to look at. So that's something that'll be interesting to see if with these coming patches that they're getting ready to do, are they going to start rolling some of these things out? Because those really, the whole H1Z1 virus has more just been a little number in the corner. It seems like they took it out for a while, but that will become an element of play at some point. Which we hope, yeah.
Well, and that's been their plan, is to make it so that will hint towards, like you have a full 100% virus, you have some sort of a ESP, a slight ESP about players, kind of like what zombies do. Zombies are attracted and they notice these players from far away and chase them. Supposedly, that's what this virus is going to do, is increase your perception of humans. And so that'll be for the people that are hunting and trying to find people. There will be somewhat of a benefit to going and increasing your level of H1Z1 virus that you have to make that happen. But from what I've been told, it makes it so your energy, I think it's your thirst and your hunger actually will decrease more rapidly. I assume one because you're sweating, and I don't know. They're making it so that there is a penalty to having the high level of H1Z1 virus, and so they don't want you to just be able to have it all the time and have it be something that just is a permanent benefit. There is a danger to it as well because you could die in a short amount of time.
Yeah, exactly. Now, something interesting, Brian, that we can talk about. We normally start off the show talking a little bit about what happened with our clan this week. Any updates on that? All of our stuff despawned. Literally all of it.
This was like a week ago. Right about a week ago that this happened.
This was last Thursday, I believe, when everything despawned.
Yeah.
All of our chests, they didn't have. This is my notion behind it. Items that you used to place pre a patch that was like 2 weeks ago, they didn't have the health bars. We placed the chests before that, so I'm thinking the health bars on our chests weren't showing up. Then in turn, we didn't know to repair them,
and they all
eventually.
Yeah, and that definitely is a bug, because we didn't have any sort of a
icon at all,
any sort of an indication or notification that something was going to happen.
Yeah, which I think is just because they were chests placed pre the health markers being on those chests. That's the only logical explanation. Or the game is just totally screwed up and everything just despawned. But I think it's more likely that the chests were placed before those were active and they were like an older version of the chest. But all of our stuff is pretty much gone. It was pretty much gone. Yeah,
there are probably about six chests left out of 20 to 30 chests.
All of our food, I mean, like we had copious amounts of food. Like the food to feed in like a 30-man army. That's how much food we have completely gone. All of our guns completely gone. Don't know if we lost our ammo because we kept those in separate chests.
We did lose some ammo. We lost a number of worn letters. Yeah, that was frustrating. But of course, we've just looked at it as, okay, the wipe is coming soon. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we lost all Fire Cane, Mage Cane, who is a member of our clan. He says we lost our pants, all of them.
Yeah, all of our pants, all of our backpacks.
/rage quit.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, we had a lot of the, not only the military backpacks, but the different colored military backpacks that are the special 2000 slot ones. Yeah, 5 camo backpacks, 3 letters, 500 shells, shotgun shells, 245 rounds, etc. So that was kind of frustrating. If this wouldn't have been in the middle of we know a wipe's going to happen in the next week or so, and not that we know that that's going to happen, but all things are pointing to yes on that. That it's just something that we kind of shrugged off, and we actually moved our base just because there's another one that already had some chests in there rather than even building. I don't think we've added any more chests since then.
No,
it's been like we're just going to keep dealing with what we have right now in this other base and not even bother adding anything. We've just been maintaining a level of ammo and supplies needed.
Now, if this was last week and all this stuff despawned, it would have been a much different situation. Like I probably wouldn't have played the game, to be honest with you, because I mean we have a huge army. Like you can't have like
the amount of food and water it requires.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm getting at. We've got anywhere sometimes 10 to 20 people logged in. You're not feeding 20 people with 17 cooked rabbit meat. I mean, you're feeding people with hundreds of cans of food and hundreds of cooked meat and hundreds of bottles of water. That's what it takes to feed an army of 20 people. Especially
I think we had at least 10 to 15 rabbit traps.
Oh my God.
Sitting there.
Yeah, the entire room is filled with rabbit traps, and then it constantly. I would put like 20 cans of food in there, log out, come back, 45 minutes later, it's all gone because the people are eating so frequently. Yeah. So if the amount of stuff we lost, frustrating, but knowing that there was a wipe coming soon enough, it was it wasn't the end of the world for us. And now we are outside the church in Pleasant Valley. We took over another base, and we are now occupying that. So that's our current status.
And that's we'll actually talk a little bit about that today, as far as we've been discussing doing even a server move to a more populated server, because we've been having an issue with not being able to find people to kill. I guess most people don't run into that, but we run around Pleasant Valley and we'll find 3 to 4 people. And so that's one thing we've been discussing is should we move to a more populated server so that there's actually people to go fight against inside of Pleasant Valley? Or is it possible that with this server wipe that they will shut down some of the lesser populated servers? That's kind of my guess. That's what they did in the EU with the last server wipe. They actually shut down some of the lower populated servers to set aside for BR, set aside for other rule sets. Do you think that they're going to do that with maybe our server or some of the servers that don't have as many people right now?
Well, I hope they would. And Brian, I think you would remember this just as well as I did. When we originally started the clan, which was maybe 4 or 5 weeks into Infection, the podcast, our server was always high pop, consistently high pop. I don't know. I feel like a server wipe is instantly going to bring life back to our server. I think you're going to have people logging back in with their friends saying, all right, this is a new game. This is a clean slate. I'm not going to get killed every time I get spawn, or I'm not going to die every time I spawn. There's going to be guns. There's going to be ammo, and I'm not going to have to deal with hackers. So I'm hoping that just a server wipe will be enough to re-strengthen some of the low pop servers. But I do think merging, 10 servers, merging just 2 servers together, taking 10 servers and making it 5 servers wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I think that's a very legitimate thing that they could do.
Well, and in chat they're saying that the fault that the server is dead is partially because of us.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
And we have Ferment to blame.
I mean, I wouldn't disagree with that because we were constantly killing fresh spawns just because we could. We had plenty of ammo to do so. I imagine these people just kind of got ticked off and went to another server.
And that's where I think if we went to a high pop server to where there's other larger clans for us to go against, because the problem is when you have a bunch of 1 or 2 people that are 1 or 2 people running around, when you have a batch of 15 to 20 people chasing you, that can get frustrating. You're like, I'm going somewhere else.
See, my only fear...
We need those packs of at least 5 people to go against, and I think we're going to have to go to a bigger server to find those.
See, my fear, Brian, is that we've been saying that we play on our server for the last 10 weeks.
Yeah.
So now we're going to have I think it's going to create a lot of confusion between our community, because we've got people that don't play every day. We've got people that log in once a week, twice a week. We're just going to be gone. We've got people that are listening to the backlogs of the podcast, and they're going to be hearing Walker Empire, Walker Empire, Walker Empire. We move to a higher pop server. I just feel like there's lots of confusion. I agree with your point, but I feel like we're invested into Walker Empire. Like, they might as well just make Walker Empire the Infection podcast server and just make it private.
Landgun says, maybe the clan should split into 2 clans, Infection, Infected. Nick can be in charge of the Infected, and we'll be Infection.
I'm staying on Walker Empire, then. That's my first move as dictator of the Infected clan.
Well, and I guess that's part of the issue is one way that gets around that. We tell people to get into TeamSpeak. I mean, that's the base of operations is TeamSpeak. So as long as people come into TeamSpeak, they will know. It's for the people that are logging in that don't take that extra step to get onto TeamSpeak. But I think that is something that maybe even right after the wipe, but we're going to have to decide pretty rapidly once that happens.
Well, we have to decide before the wipe. We have to make a general consensus and say, all right, are we moving or are we staying? I mean, there's going to be another wipe soon. After this wipe, within a month or so of this wipe that's going to be hopefully coming out this week, there's going to be another wipe right after it.
Yeah.
So do we wait? I honestly feel like a server wipe is going to bring so much life back to this game.
Yeah.
A straw poll. There.
Yeah. Let's have a straw poll.
When in doubt, do a straw poll. I'm just not sure.
But I think I know it's not comfortable, but I really think for us to continue to grow, we'll almost have to do that. So that's something that I know we'll be discussing in the next couple of days, because if I'm correct in the thinking that the server wipe is going to happen maybe Thursday, we're going to have to come up with a decision to actually deal with that before then.
But now, Mono is saying in chat, our server was high also, but now it is dead. I feel like that's how are we going to decide what server we go to?
Seeing the issue is like I've been looking at Blackout as a server.
Okay.
If Blackout, we go there and it's currently high, all these people come back because the wipe happens and the populations boom. There may be overpopulation at that point to where there's queue times and everything. I mean, it's kind of hard to guess. I mean, we're making a decision trying to guesstimate what's going to happen, and I think that might be an issue. There's a good chance that we're going to be wrong. It's like it seems like it's almost a 50-50 chance.
Exactly, and here's the problem: we can't just keep server hopping. Like we need to find what server we're going to stay on and go there.
I'm worried that Walker Empire is never going to have the population enough to serve our clan.
I kind of agree with you, but at the same point, how are we?
I don't want us to keep having to struggle with it, and then later we were like, okay, we give up. Let's move servers now.
Yeah.
I'd rather have it to where when we're building this base and putting all these resources into it, that's when it happens.
Do we need to do a straw? Should we do a straw poll?
You can do a straw poll. One thing that I'll bring up, it was mentioned in chat earlier, and we were distracted. We actually were talking about the ban messages, and we got distracted. But if you look at the bans that are happening, it seems like there's a first strike, second strike that they've been talking about. The first strike is a 3-day ban or something like that. I'll just scroll up. I don't have the Reddit post in front of me. But the first ban that they do is a limited number of days, and then after that it becomes the permanent ban. So I think a lot of people were frustrated saying, what, bans are only 3 days when people are caught cheating? And that's the whole perception that they were putting across. They were saying, this is the no tolerance. If you're caught cheating, you're banned. This is the ban hammer. That's what they were putting across. And it seems like with this 3-day thing, it's maybe not so strict. They are giving that second chance, which personally I think is good, because if the person then redoes it, then they're going to be banned permanently. So people are getting banned. I know that. We've had one person on our server who's in one of the hacking clans who spent over $200 on the game so far, rebuying it because he just keeps on hacking.
Yeah, it's a slap on the wrist, and after these 3 days, these people are just going to continue to hack, and then it's a permanent ban. I mean, like. But
see, I'd rather have it to where I kind of like the idea of maybe a kid is messing around, he tries to hack, he gets banned, he knows his mom's not going to buy him another copy of this game.
Don't hack.
I mean, I think that's the thinking behind it, but I'm more of a no tolerance.
No, Brian. Brian, you are wrong. This is why you're wrong. Okay, I'm ready. Here you go. You throw this in my face all the time. There's a mature audience that plays this game, Brian. So there's no kids. Seriously, it's a slap on the wrist. How can you ban somebody for 3 days for hacking? You hack, you're banned. Sucks for you. Sayonara. Drop $20 down and wait till the game's free to play. Sorry.
Well, and they're paying $15 a month for this ban or this hacking program, anyways.
Exactly. Money is not an object to these people. How much are the Russian keys? We're talking like $6.
Well, they were, but supposedly they got rid of those. But I don't know. So it seems like a majority of people in chat are saying there should be a zero tolerance.
I agree with the zero tolerance.
They agree with you, and I agree with that too. I like giving someone a second chance, but I think that's not the majority of people that need a second chance.
Yeah.
The majority of people that are doing this know what they're doing. They know the risk. It wasn't like, oh, I didn't know this was going to happen. If they're willing to take that risk to cheat, they're willing to take that risk to never play again without paying for another registration. And I don't know if everybody who is doing these cheats, if they have the same software to be able to remake the computer identity. I don't know what they're calling it, but it takes some hardware of your computer and kind of figures out that's your computer, and that's what they're banning off.
It's a hardware ID ban, so they're banning
I don't know if all of those people actually have the things that are supposed to spoof that.
So here's the thing: if you're a
lot of people probably are permanently banned.
If you're a serious enough hacker, you're gonna get away from a hardware ID ban. I don't think that's a problem. Another question coming up in chat: didn't they say that some people were being banned for cheats, but it was just a bug in the game?
That is a risk.
That's a risk, but I feel like that was more of a risk 3 weeks ago. Not as much now. I feel like they know what the red flags are, and they know that, you know, speed hacking is a red flag, or this is a red flag, or that is a red flag. I'm almost positive that people are not getting banned because of server lags or stuff like that. If it is, it's such a minute problem that it'll work itself out.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
I mean, that for me would be a frustrating thing if I get enough people, because we go through. I've been getting better with my shots in BR and things like that, to where I get people. I've been getting headshots and just doing all these different things. I would imagine that if I get enough people clicking that ban button, that they're going to look at that. But supposedly with their statistics, this is something that shouldn't be they should be able to look and see this guy isn't always getting headshots. People may feel like because I go 1, 2, 3, and then the third's a headshot as I work up the body. That is a possibility, but I don't think that most people with their system, I don't think there's going to be too many false detections. And
Exactly.
I think they can tell pretty clearly when someone's no clipping, teleporting, or using headshots. For men, I know we had discussed this before, and he had mentioned if there's some sort of a smoothing for the auto aim and things like that to make it harder to detect. But there's going to be some sort of something that is not normal, random human behavior when a computer's doing the thinking for you, and I'm sure that they're coming up with better ways to tune that.
Exactly. And apparently from the posts I've seen on Reddit with people saying, I actually wasn't cheating and I got banned, they're getting resolved. Like, they have a resolution section. They understand this is a problem. I'm pretty sure that they can tell if somebody's speed hacking or the server lagged and it shot them, to a certain coordinate and shot them back, that's not a teleport hack.
Yeah.
So that's just what I'm thinking, right? This is such a minute problem. The majority is people are hacking, and they're getting banned, and then they're bitching about it on Reddit, saying that they're not. Countless posts on Reddit. I wasn't actually hacking. I don't know why I got banned. Come on, seriously?
Yeah.
Like, you want me to believe that? You're an innocent guy playing the game. They're not banning. We've got a group of 20 people. None of them have ever been banned for cheating. We play on the server all the time.
Now, I really think they need to not ban all of the Asia, that whole Asia area of the countries. I think that they need to give them their own server and then block their IPs from our server set.
No, what they should do.
It's tough because we have people from EU that play here.
What they should do is
they
should make latency a legitimate thing. Like, I should have the upper hand on somebody else because I have 24 milliseconds ping and they have 370. That's what they really do. That would easily solve the problem.
But if they give the Asia continents their own server, do you think that the majority of them would actually move? Or do you think they'd stay on the U.S. servers?
If latency is not a problem, why wouldn't you stay on the U.S. servers? I mean, that's the only reason I could see moving. Even Ferment at the beginning had problems with latency. He doesn't now. I've never seen his in-game performance affected by.
That's where I think they really need to cut back and block the whole set of IPs, because we're not having an influx of people from Europe hacking. We're not having an influx of people from South America or Central America or Canada hacking. It's primarily coming from Asia, and we know this. And there's plenty of statistics you could look at, I'm sure, on their side to prove this.
Statistics? Just look at the videos on Reddit. I mean, there's your statistics.
I mean, I see it. I've had it to where I actually have a story here that I didn't share last week.
Story time with Brian.
So I actually people give me crap for bringing up that I did this, but I was playing BR. I'm a softie. I didn't run over this guy.
No.
And so I said, all right. I thought about running him over. I said, no, go ahead and you can get in the car. So this guy, he starts telling me about how he's got this bug that he uses, and he can see everyone on the map. And so I just say, okay, nice. And he's like, well, let me drive. Okay. So I let him drive.
Oh my God, Brian.
So I wanted to see what he did, because he was like, I see everyone on the map. And he was just like, I killed him. Watch. I see him, I kill him. And so I'm just letting this guy drive, and I'm just sitting here watching, and he's just running over all these people in bushes. And
Wow.
And he's just like, I take you number one. And I was like, all right. I'm just sitting back here watching this whole thing. And so, yeah, he just starts taking me around and starts killing all these guys. And it was very interesting to see that he could see everyone on the map. He's like, there's a guy where he says, I see this guy right over here. And we're driving really far because he saw this guy over here and runs over him in a bush. He's just searching for anyone. And that for me was just crazy. It's definitely real. And the majority of people that I see doing this, that are coming and finding me, then come at us and cuss at us in whatever language, or say something odd. And they're usually from somewhere in Asia.
No, that's the whole thing on Reddit. I mean, you watch the videos, the groups of 20 of them, 30 of them, all like swarming they hack. That's what they do. I don't know if this was a side conversation, Brian, or you talked about this on the show, but their culture is to be the best at the games, right? That's like they hack, and they're hacking at H1Z1, and they're destroying our games, right? It's no fun.
And if you look, and this has happened, this isn't the first game that this has happened in. Other games have had to deal with this exact same problem, and the majority of them do it by banning the whole IP block. They can use VPNs, but that's going to only increase their latency times, which is going to give them more of a disadvantage and encourage them to play on a U.S. server, or on their own servers, not U.S. servers. So that's something that I think they're going to have to deal with, because it has become, in the last number of weeks, it seems like the problem is just getting worse and worse.
Yeah. Now, sir, region lock. This is a thing that comes up all the time. Region locks are great, but we have people in our clan that don't play in the United States. Are they part of a? Are they part of?
And so specifically, what most of these games do is block Asia itself, and that's the problem. Is I know there are honest people from those continents that are playing. That is a risk, and I know there may be people in our clan even that are playing from there. And so that's not something I want to do. But what they could do first is try to give them their own server, see if the majority of them go there, and it makes it more of a playable situation on the U.S. servers. Because all you have to do is go into BR, and you will instantly see. I go in there during the day sometimes, and 90% of them, the people that are yelling in another language. So obviously, a lot of these people that are coming in and playing on these the BR servers on the U.S. are not in the U.S. So maybe they should start looking at. I know they added the AU servers. They need to start adding these different servers in their own region, so those people will go there and play. And it's not like, hey, they shouldn't be playing with us, but it just creates a lot of confusion. And there are different mentalities. It takes away from how I like to play the game. As I said, I played too nice.
But now here's the problem. Or here's what why are they not playing on the European servers? What do they? I feel like they'd have better connections to the European servers. Is that? I mean, you're not.
I don't know. I don't know if there is. There are some people here in our chat that play in the European servers sometimes.
Yeah.
Maybe they could give us a better idea. I've never gone and really played in the European server, so but from what I've heard, it's not as much of a problem there.
That's really interesting to me. I mean, why? Why specifically the U.S.? It's just Brian's totally correct. Maybe. You go into a battle royale lobby, depending on the time of day. I don't know what the time difference is, but it's just a majority in their big groups, 5, 10, 15 people, all speaking another language on the U.S. battle royale servers, the U.S. servers, and then they come and kill you in groups of 8 or 10. It's like a legitimate thing.
And it's causing people, and this is the danger. It's causing people to be, I guess, somewhat racist. People get frustrated and mad, and it's not because they're Chinese or whatever country they're coming from. There's, as I said, there's plenty of people that are playing in those countries that are not cheating, but it's just causing the people in the United States just to despise them playing and be like, oh, it's all you Chinese people. When it's not all you Chinese, it's groups of them, and because they're using the hacks, they stand out more.
Exactly. And so Daybreak's going to have to address this at some point. I mean, you see it all the time. I guess that's our little rant there on the servers and whatnot. Let's talk about the female game model. This is just posted. Here's the link right here. This is looking pretty good. This is a very nice player model. It looks
a lot better.
It looks dynamic.
One thing I find frustrating about the current male model that's on there is there's just not that detail. And so I'm assuming that the new male model will be similar to this, where there is that detail. I mean, if you look at that face, there's detail there. There's scars. You can, if you get into the RPG and the people that are really into, like, if you can get a customized player model that you can say, I want to have a scar here, people will build a backstory of, oh, I got this scar here. And that's what people want that are really into this. And so I think that they really need to put the detail and create some of that realism, create different hairdos. That's what people are going to want to do. Even if the hairdo is a skin that they can possibly get in a crate, that's more money chances for them to get from people, and more opportunities for people to have a reason to get the crates, because eventually people are going to get all the skins.
Exactly.
And how many different shirt skins do you really need?
I need 1,000 red trucker hat skins. That's what I need. It's my key to the game. Yeah. But this is nice. The hair is detailed. I imagine that this
I think they could get the hair a little bit more detailed, though. I mean,
I don't know how.
I think that's the least detailed of the whole model. Like, the face is very detailed. The eyes.
You got to remember, this may be a lower rendered version. This may not be a final render. This may be a draft render. This may. It not
seems
be
like they really
render.
rendered the face clearly.
Not the
I
back.
think that they could. I think they could do a little bit more on the hair.
Yeah, but
to make the strands stand out a little bit more.
Yeah. So this may not. This is probably not a final render. I would imagine this is probably just a dev, set the preview render up and took some screenshots and threw it up on Imgur. So that's that. We'll have that in the show notes for people listening. If you're listening in your car or whatever, you can go to the website and click on the link there, and you'll have access to that. This is good. Step in the right direction. Working on new stuff. They say what they're gonna do. Now we can talk a little bit about roadmap. Talking about saying what they can do and actually doing it. Roadmap is finally
we've
here.
been waiting on.
Like weeks we've been waiting on.
Yeah. And I wonder how much they're actually going to keep this roadmap.
I have a feeling this is going to become very stagnant very quick.
And that's my worry, is that they won't stick to this. If this is something that they truly stick to, and to their credit, they really have been putting out these updates and being consistent with putting out pretty big updates. We've had it to where a week goes by and there wasn't major changes, and people are like, "Oh, look, see, it's already going downhill. Everything is just, nothing's going to change. This is the beginning of the end." But realistically, then 2 days later, they put out a big, huge thing that everybody's in like, "Oh, look at all this, man! They're really working." Pat on the back to them. It's like people will never be happy. So this, I was really surprised when these lists came out, that how much was put into a month for the roadmap of what they wanted to do. This is a lot of things to cover in a month, and it's maybe giving people a perspective of how much they're actually doing right now.
Yeah.
People in chat are asked about the when is the dam going to be released? Supposedly the dam, and according to this roadmap, the dam will be released on Thursday, so the 2nd.
Interesting. Schmedley just put a picture on Twitter, and it's a guy with a
running around in underwear.
Underwear, yeah. That's pretty good. That's funny.
Now their bug is how he's holding the crowbar.
The crowbar, yeah. It's like upside down and like going through his arm.
we're not going to become the Pantless clan. That's not
going to be our thing?
No, that's not going to be our claim to fame.
Oh, you're lost.
Yeah, so that's going to be now the first thing on this roadmap that I keep saying. I think that the wipe is going to be on Thursday, and here is the big indication of why. The zone export is the first thing on this roadmap. So they'll be exporting the zone, and that supposedly will catch a lot of erroneous terrain bugs, including trees in the road, floating objects, and bad terrain that can easily flip vehicles. Now, they say zone export, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. But what I'm assuming is that they have a landscape that they are working on in their computer that maybe they haven't redone. I assume they're working on this and fixing it locally on a test server, but that they haven't actually exported that and been using that.
Okay, so here's the thing. This wipe is 100% confirmed because they're releasing a new dam and they're going to be expanding the size. So what is going to happen to everybody's crap? That's on our server, there's a base that completely surrounds the dam. I will say 100% there will be a server wipe on Thursday. It would be impossible for them to import a new map without doing a complete server. There's no way that would go through without everything being broken.
Exactly. And so that's the number two. That's the other thing that is, if they're sticking to this April 2nd update, the new dam is going to have to require a wipe because they don't go through and just delete per server things that are in the way. They're not just going to delete certain people's bases because they were too close to this dam. It's going to change how everything is. And there's no way that those things are going to be able to be there anymore. So the way that they deal with this is just do a wipe and have everybody start fresh so they can place things. That, for me, those two things alone say we're definitely having a wipe on Thursday if those are both released on Thursday.
And Schmedley did just confirm to somebody on Twitter, Hercule Gaming.
Hercules.
Hercule Gaming, at Hercule Gaming on Twitter, that the patch will be resetting on Thursday. So this patch will actually be, if you're watching the show live, it'll be tomorrow night. It'll be Wednesday night, Thursday morning at 2 a.m., 2 or 3 a.m. Pacific is when they seem to like to do these patches. If they follow that structure, which I hope to God they do, because I don't want this to be a 3 p.m. Pacific update, and the servers go haywire at 5 o'clock Eastern, and the next thing you know, game's broken until the next day, which is a legitimate possibility.
So for me, those two things. Then, when everybody's recreating their characters, this is a perfect chance they are releasing a new male character model.
Perfect.
So that's going to be, everyone will have the new hands for gloves, the new foot slot for boots and things like that. So there will be more items that are going to be available, so you can customize your shoes, customize gloves, which I think is great for them. These are the things that they got to make the money off of. People that want to have a certain look in game that really care are going to go and buy those crates and compete in VR, which eventually will be some sort of a pay model. That is how they're going to make money in this game. And so for them, creating different slots, hats, they're going to be separating the hats from the face, because like those goggles that you put on or glasses, those take up your whole helmet slot, which is a problem. And there's no reason that it should. And so I think for them, with this will be a face, gloves, and foot slot. So you'll have an opportunity to wear those goggles with a helmet, put gloves on, and shoes. Those are new things that are coming with the patch that they're doing on Thursday.
Yeah, now we've got some confusion. Is this Misty Peak Dam? Yes, right?
This is that main dam.
Yeah,
the big one.
Isn't that the Misty Peak Dam? Isn't that the big one?
Yes,
okay,
and that's the one to the lower right, not the miniature dams that are above it.
Yeah, this is the one that's off of Avaram Highway by Misty Loop, between Cranberry and Pleasant Valley. That's the dam that they're redoing.
So Zigrock wants to know, why are they remaking it? And this is something that's for future gameplay. The dam is going to become a way to generate power and we don't know exactly why. I have my own theories of why they're going to be wanting to generate power. One thing is they're looking at having some lights turn on downtown Pleasant Valley. So in front of the supermarket and things like that, there's some lights that will actually light up. That's going to be one thing, is people will have a quest objective of getting into the dam, doing something to turn the power on, and that affects the rest of the server. My other guesstimate, and something that I think might happen later, is that they will have that radio tower actually do something. If you can get the power going from the dam, that will then allow the radio tower to start up and to transmit something, because that transmitting a radio signal, if you go back to the lore of this game, the whole thing started out with them doing stories of someone doing a radio broadcast and saying, here's people surviving and doing different things. That is part of the lore. They haven't done anything with that radio tower. So I think that will become something to where your goal is to start the power, get the radio tower going. Maybe then they'll turn on the radios in the police cars, maybe have radios around. As Fire Mage Kane says in chat, give it some sort of a storyline, because they really need to build this whole idea of what is happening. People don't know. I think it's 10 years later, if I remember correctly, from when the outbreak happened. People don't know what happened or why there is an H1Z1 virus and how long it's been and how far everything is supposed to have been worn down and how old things should look. They need to actually fill in that storyline and do things to make it natural to do it. So that's one thing. That storyline was actually made by, I think it was released by H1Z1. If you go onto YouTube, you can find it on their channel, but it's a 2-hour broadcast that's an audio story that's kind of like what happened and the story of people that are surviving, and it's based on this game.
Yeah, exactly. There's the story. This game is good, but a story would make this game a little bit better.
But there's no background. Like, people have no idea
exactly
why anything is the way it is.
Yeah. It's just kind of this like, all right, we're here. There's zombies. There's a virus. Go.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just kind of where you're thrown. For me, the story doesn't really matter a whole lot to me. But I know for a lot of people, having a good background and for them really to get in depth with the game and really, have this immersive experience into the game, they need a backstory. They need something that they can wrap their hands around and say, all right, this is why I'm here. This is my end goal. This is all this stuff. For me, it doesn't do it. But for a lot of people, having a solid background and knowing why, who, what, when, how, all that stuff is big for them. For me, it's not, but...
No, for Matt in chat, he said it'd be cool if people could capture the radio tower and then broadcast their own propaganda.
We talked about that.
But I don't like that idea, because constantly all we'll be hearing is Summit. People will capture the radio tower and just yell Summit into the microphone.
So we'll have to go take them out.
They'll have to come up with... I don't think people should be able to broadcast whatever they want. They'll have to figure that out, because what kind of junk it'll be. Just like Battle Royale starting area.
Brian, I said
radio tower.
We capture the radio tower. We do like your classic rock night or something like that. Maybe for a certain server, that's a thing. Maybe it's a radius of the radio tower you hear the broadcast. Maybe it's not the entire map. Maybe it's just the base of the mountain up, or a little bit into Pleasant Valley and up.
Yeah.
Or there you go. Or you can hear cars or craft a radio, something like that. I think they could. If they made it, like
if you could broadcast your own signal, that would give a reason to really work together, like our clan. That would give everyone, hey, our goal is to capture that radio tower and to hold it.
But now, Brian, you talk about other things now. So you talk about having a radio tower. Now you talk about crafting radio jammers, right? And jamming their signal, broadcasting your own. You have to destroy the jammer. Like, you can follow this stuff and go a really long way. You needed like some type of triangulator to figure out where the repeater, or wherever the
you could set up repeaters around. I mean, there would be a lot of little side things that they could
repeaters, jammers. I mean, you could have so many different things where you could go. We could broadcast this podcast in the game, to Walker Empire. That's actually what we would do.
Force people to listen to the podcast.
Listen, damn it, you have no choice. Log out and go to another server. We could do that though.
They would drive more people away from Walker Empire. They'll be like, that stupid podcast just never ends. They kill us, and then they make us listen to it the whole time.
So our straw poll is up, and show you we'll do a quick halfway show result here. Currently, the poll question is, should we stay on Walker Empire? There are 9 votes for no, 4 votes for yes, and we're going to have to figure this out tonight or tomorrow. So if you're interested in helping us with that, joining our TeamSpeak, we'll have a discussion either tonight or tomorrow. Actually, it'll be tomorrow because the wipe will be early Thursday morning, and we'll figure out what server we'll go to, and we'll keep you updated on Twitter if we decide to move and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
So.
All right, and now one thing they did release here, and we'll talk about in the chat or in the patch notes, but they released that new pistol, but they're going to be releasing another pistol, which is a small little pocket pistol, the 380.
Yeah.
It has a really high rate of fire, but it's very low powered. So I like the idea that they're putting more guns because it's really changed. For me, it's really changed Battle Royale. If you look at Battle Royale, when there was only one gun, everybody would just pick up every single gun because they could fit them in their inventory. They would just pick up every handgun, every bullet for it. Now I see people leaving behind more either 45 ammo or 9mm. It seems like everybody's picking up the 9mm, but I'll see a 45 left. If someone's looted a building, they'll leave the 45 and the ammo, which means that if I come to that base second or that house second, whatever, I'm coming to a campground, there is a chance that I will have a gun even though someone's looted a house. And so, you hand me a handgun and my odds just go up 90% that I'm going to live. And so I think for them, that them releasing more models of the handgun and more rifles and all these different things into the game, at least for BR, it's increasing the chance that someone who's competent at it is going to survive when it's not just down to who lands first, who grabs the first gun, and who shoots the other person. Maybe there is now a reason to hold back, go into the houses later, and then try to see what you can pick up.
Yeah.
People in chat are saying, please add like a Ruger Mini 14. I can imagine that they're going to be adding, they're going to be adding an AK. They're going to be adding a number of different guns, which, as I said, is better because there's going to be more of a chance that the gun's left behind and the ammo's left behind. And so people are only going to usually pick up ammo because you'll pick up ammo pretty quick in a BR. You're only going to pick up ammo that you're able to shoot because you don't want to fill up your bags.
I'm actually, Brian, I don't know about you, but a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I would pick up any ammo I found, even if I didn't have the gun. I'm noticing now, I don't even screw around with the pistol anymore. Like, if I go in a house and it's just the pistol and I'm a fresh spawn, I'll pick up the pistol and the ammo. But if I've got an AR already, I'll just go and I will just leave the pistol there. I won't even waste my time picking up the pistol.
See, and that's good. That's good, though. I mean, that's good for those people that maybe don't load as fast or that landed after you because that gives them a chance.
But I'm just finding that if I've already got a pistol and a shotgun, or if I've already got an AR and a shotgun, what do I need a pistol for? Like, it just pick it up to pick it up? I mean, I guess you could see one aspect of that is you should pick it up so that you're not leaving it in somebody else's hands. But for the majority of it, I'm just kind of fine leaving it.
See, and I'm a scavenger. I will go through and I will find the ammo. I notice so many people leave behind shotgun ammo, just things that because they didn't look close enough or they don't look around the campfires well enough. So I really like that they have. There's a lot of people that just go through. They do a quick scan. I'll pick up that, and I'm out. I'm the person who will go through and check everything in a house, and I will check everything around a campfire. And usually there's a good chance that I will find something. So for my play style, adding more and more to it and making it so there's those more options does nothing but help me and make me survive longer. So I'm up for whatever guns they want to throw. And they're going to be doing, I guess I'll jump ahead one, the workbench. It's going to allow you to craft things. You're going to have it to where you can break down ammo and make it into repair kits, create other types of ammo. So they are creating more ways to work with that ammo. So I guess there was a reason to gather the ammo to break it down for materials to then use it to make other types of ammo. So they're creating more of that crafting system and making more reasons to go out and collect things. Or if you have a ton of 45 ammo, see what else you can make with it.
which is nice. It adds a little bit of that crafty, like Minecraft-ish kind of element to the game, where you're like actually doing stuff other than just picking stuff up and using it.
So they're having it to where any ammo will break down into gun components. So let's say you're having a real problem keeping 308 ammo, but you have hundreds of 45 ammo. Then it'll break down to gun components to where each bullet or shell will give you one gun component. Then you can take two gun components to make any other type of ammunition. So 245 rounds will make one 308 round or one shotgun round.
Okay, yeah, that's
one
useful.
AR round.
That's very useful.
So for me, that will really help with. It's very hard to find AR ammo right now in game. It's very hard to find 308 ammo. You have to go out and look for it. I mean, it's not very hard, but on a higher populated server, it's not like now where we can go down to the apartments and pretty much just clear all the apartments and most likely find a decent amount of ammo. With the higher population server, we're going to have to do a lot more searching to find that specialized ammo.
Exactly, but that crafting will allow us to.
It'll make it so where just get any ammo you can, bring it back, and we'll make it work. Also, guns can be dismantled into gun parts. So larger guns will give more gun parts. You can use them, so 3 gun parts to make a gun repair kit. So this repair kit can be used on weapons to repair them. Currently, this will repair any weapon, but in the future, it will be restricted to guns only. So I wonder if they're phasing out maybe the weapons repair kit, or maybe weapons repair kit will only fix melee weapons. It seems like they're maybe splitting that apart.
Yes, which makes some sense, right? I mean, I kind of understand it.
Or they may keep both. They like to play with how rare something is.
They'll probably keep both.
I mean, you remember when everybody was saying there's too many of the new recurve bows?
Yes.
I mean, they're everywhere. Now, how easy is it to find a recurve bow? I don't see them very... Yeah, you have to go and look for them. Yeah. So people complain about it. Right now, they're saying there's too many of those helmets, the blue helmets. Well, let's give it a couple weeks. It'll probably be to where they're very rare again. So I think that, right now, when they first release something, they make a ton of them. People say there's too many, and they don't cut them back because of that, but I think they're just gathering statistics and testing. And then they take it to a more normal level. So it'll be fun to see what these new things...
Well, plus... I think
how many of them are there going to be?
I think a big reason they initially have such a surplus is they can test bugs easier. If the recurve bow is in the hands of, 80% of players, they're going to find bugs for it rather than if it's in the hands of 10% or 20% of the players. So it's also them bug testing their new items that they're adding to the game.
And then after that, they say, actually, one thing before we get to the end of that, they are redoing the pickup truck interior. And I think they still need to do the Jeep interior as well. But if you look at the interiors of the vehicles, now that they have the first-person mode, their detail is just not there. Everything is very rough, and it just looks funny inside of the vehicle. So they're doing a high-resolution interior for the pickup truck, so that'll make it more realistic inside. I haven't seen anything on the Jeep yet. Maybe that'll be in a later one. But I think the Jeep they need to do. And the police car, I don't remember looking inside. It's a police car. I'm not sure if that's high res yet.
Don't think it is. But
so maybe they haven't done any of them yet, and maybe they're just starting with the pickup truck because it's easiest. There's less interior to it.
Yeah. Now this is the. Now, the interesting thing is, Brian, this is the April 2nd update that we're talking about. This is on the roadmap.
This is expected. Not all of it may be in there.
And so I wonder how they're going to... Are they going to release like another post on roadmap and say, all right, it's April 2nd or it's April 3rd. This is what actually happened. This is what got pushed back.
I think that after April 2nd, they may edit the later ones.
Okay.
So probably what they'll do is delete or archive the April 2nd update and then add whatever didn't get put into the next one and keep shuffling it down. They're going to have to continually keep editing this if they don't get all of these things in. But like they're talking about doing a revised crude map. That's the one that is hand-drawn to do grid locations. And so I think that kind of like what we see in BR, how they have A1, B1, they have these different ones on there. I don't think it's going to tell you on your thing like in BR saying you are in B1, but I think just so that if you're talking to someone, you can say, I am roughly around B1. I assume that that's what they're going to do and not actually put a coordinate system of exactly where you are in game, because I think that would make it a little too easy.
Oh, that would totally destroy the whole like survival aspect of the game if you just instantly knew where you were on fresh spawn.
But kind of the issue with this is they're expecting people to use out of game chat, right? We
Yeah,
talked
exactly.
about early on having some sort of a walkie-talkie type of a system. If they're keeping everything in game, what's the point of having grid locations to help your friends find each other if they're expecting you to not be able to talk in game?
Yeah. Live maps. Fighters is talking about live maps. They need those really bad. They still are not dynamic maps in Battle Royale.
Yeah.
Every single time, every pixel that the green gas moves, you've got to open and close that map to see. I don't know what is... I don't know what the reason is for that. All they'd have to do is render that map server side, and then all you'd have to do is render it once, and then everybody would just have access to it. So I don't understand what the delay is on that, but that's a huge problem. I hate having to sit there and smash that key to figure out how close I'm going to be to the gas, especially when you're sitting on the edge and you can see it rolling in towards you, and you want to see how much farther it's going to come on that zone. I mean, you're just sitting there and you're practically tapped out by the rapid rate that you're just refreshing that map.
Yeah, and that's something, and I don't know if that's what he means by live maps, but that is definitely a problem of, and it seems like that whole shrinking issue is still there to where the map will shrink to the side and get really small in the corner, and then until the next update happens, then it expands out. I've been running into that problem with the map as well too.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking about maybe a mini map in the corner, maybe a map that shows you just things within your perimeter.
Yeah, but
just saying you're in here. We see that 100 feet away, there's this object. So that would help you find where you're at on the map.
But at this point, I don't think a mini map in the corner is. You gotta remember, this is a survival game. This is not supposed to be a Call of Duty where you have a mini map. This is meant to be survival. I mean, at some point they're gonna have to stop adding hints to help players in the game. I mean, at some point you're gonna have to say. At some point you're gonna have to learn the map. You're gonna have to figure out where you are, how to get to your friends.
They got to be careful
navigate.
to not make it too easy, because that was one thing that's really taken away from like World of Warcraft.
Well, they add a mini map.
It
There
used
you
to
go.
be hard. It used to be hard there. Now it's becoming easier and easier to play World of Warcraft, and a lot of people are leaving. They're trying to draw in those younger audiences, and as you said before, my goal in this game is not to bring in the kids that are in high school and under.
But it will. You're gonna have a free to play game where you open it up. It tells you you're in D6. Here's a mini map in the corner. Here's a map in your inventory. It's practically Minecraft at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, like at that point, you literally know exactly where you are and where everybody else is. At some point, they need to just say, "All right, this is all we can do. We'll give you a grid system. We're not going to tell you where you are. We're not going to give you a little map. That's the best we can do." I have the map memorized. I can tell you almost any spot in the map.
Yeah.
Just by playing it. I mean, I don't sit there and study the map.
Yeah.
So at some point they're going to have to say, all right,
they're going to have to. They're going to really have to discuss and figure out that balance of how hard do we want to make it versus trying to appease general audience, because so many games sit there and they're just looking for the masses to bring in subscribers or people that are going to pay money.
But here's the thing. That's who they want. They want the mass audience, because the mass audience is going to buy their game.
But the people like us or people like me, that's not who we want. We'll be driven away by.
That's not who we want, but the more people that are playing Daybreak's free-to-play game have that chance of buying it. So they may make the game as easy as possible.
Or at least give me a hard mode. Give me a server that I can, because that's going to weed out a lot of the kids.
Yeah. Okay, I thought about that. That makes sense.
You know, give us a harder mode server, a mode, because they want it to where if you pay some money, you can get these modes. Have a server that doesn't have map help, doesn't have, whatever it is.
Well, they've got servers
like
now.
First person versus third person. But they need to keep adding those rule types so that you can have as hard of a server as you want to make it to where, okay, your average 12-year-old is not going to come play this because they'll just get frustrated and stop.
Landgun's got solution to the problem. $60 for a map. Simple as that. Just charge an absurd amount of money for the map.
Would you like a GPS unit? That's $100.
like a nice Garmin or like a nice TomTom
you
GPS.
need to turn left here.
Yeah, turn left on Abraham Highway in 1,000 feet. I'm sorry, meters.
Or
1,000
Ferment
meters.
says, let us host our own servers.
That's
I'd be up for that. If we could rent, not that we're going to host our own servers,
But rent them from Daybreak.
but if we could even, rent a server from Daybreak.
I would really be down to renting a server from Daybreak. That would be cool. I'd like to be able to rent a server and say this is my thing.
Yeah. So, and then they're going to be fixing some sim body image, body sim performance improvements. So they said the body sim was causing some server performance and has to be improved to be less harsh on the server.
Okay.
And I would assume that this has something to do with the zombies as well, because I don't think that all the players would be causing it, but maybe something about the players. It'd be weird that the players would cause such a server impact the way that the body sim performance improvements. That's kind of a weird way of wording it, but I'm thinking that's what they're saying is the way that the body moves maybe, or maybe some certain detail about it's causing the server to get overloaded.
Yeah. Now here's a quick thing. I don't want to go on this long, and I feel like we will. If they rent servers, what they really should do, the smart thing to do would be rent servers and allow a clan pay system where your clan members can help like towards the portions of keeping that server up, and then like of course they take their little bit of cut because that's what they do, right? But that's just like a thing I see here. Like we have a registered clan, right? We've got 20 members in our clan. Their Sony Online accounts or their Daybreak accounts are linked to that. When we have a server, it automatically creates like a server support page, right? Where it's like, all right, our server's $25 a month, and then our clan members, if they would like, can go in there and push towards keeping that server up to date. If for whatever reason we didn't have the funds to do so, that would be a way for them to do that kind of stuff.
And I would assume it'd be more like $100 a month, but still.
No, of course. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on how many slots now. I mean, what traditional game servers, they sell based on slots. You don't sell a blank game server. You sell a,
Well, I mean, what they could do is we have a server that general public can come in and fill the rest of the space, but we are guaranteed 20 slots on the server, 30 slots, 50 slots on the server.
You're allowed like 20 or 30 whitelists. So when, I want to join, it kicks somebody else that's not like a paid clan member or whatever off. You have that kind of whitelist system.
Yeah. So you pretty much go through and allow other players to come in. They can still come in and create characters, but they will not have the ability to be guaranteed able to come into the server, especially when you get more and more people. You're going to have to, let's say we go to a high pop server, or if we have a server that's high pop, we want it to where people that are paying something to be a part of that server are never going to get you're this place in queue.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be the whole point of running a server.
Exactly. Well, Twitch, again, talking about making money, that's how they can do it.
Yeah. And they got to look at how much does a server cost us to run?
Yeah.
Can it be virtualized? What are they doing to run these servers for however many slots?
Well, that's the thing. If they can't virtualize the servers, they're screwed. Because there's no way we would be able to afford a dedicated server.
That's the thing, is that they have to be able to run this on something that's affordable. We're not going to pay $500 a month to rent a server.
Well, Brian, open up your piggy bank there. You have to get on that. You'll be our cash cow for the infection server.
Yay. Yeah, so that won't, I'm not planning on that happening. But I would probably just want to cover the April 2nd. I don't want to go too far in these, because they have more on these roadmaps.
We'll do one every week. We'll just keep going.
But we can do the next one next week and just keep moving forward with it, because I think if we just do them all right now, this is set to change, and I don't want to cover things over and over again as they move them around. I want it to be a growing thing.
Now, Brian, it's time. We've had feedback. We've been trying to do some new things. Here's our new segment. It's called Tip of the Week. Basically, what we're gonna do is we got to remember, a lot of people in this game are seniors, right? Veterans. They've been playing the game for a while. They know everything. But we've got people that listen to our show that maybe don't own the game. Maybe this is their first or second week playing the game. There's still things that they don't know. So start off with some basic tips, and then we'll work our way up. So it's time for Tip of the Week. There we go.
Very good. So our first tip of the week is going to be a battle royale related tip.
Yeah.
One thing that I have found that I don't know how many people do, I know a lot of people that are veterans of battle royale do, is going in and clearing out your inventory in the BR waiting area, dropping your flashlight. Who uses a flashlight in BR, first of all? Dropping your, if you have the little crude map, sometimes that shows up, the binoculars, all these different items that you're not going to use, drop that in the waiting area. And then also skin your shirt before it happens.
That's
because
exactly
you'll
what
have
I
a
was
30-second
gonna say.
wait.
Yeah.
You need to get all those things out of the way so that when you're ready to land, that you can immediately start picking up guns, because you will come into situations where you have to instantly, maybe you have someone around you to where you pick up a gun, there's someone else going for that other gun. You're going to be running over there to pick it up as quickly as possible. If you still have the flashlight and the other thing in your objects, after you pick up that first gun, you're going to have to go into your inventory, drop that, and then try to pick it up. And there's a good chance that you're going to be killed.
Yeah. Now, the other thing is, Brian, that you left out is unpackage your gauze, because it comes in a pack. You right-click on that, you unpack your gauze, you set your flare off in the waiting area. There's no reason to flare.
Now you can drag the flare off to the side too,
Okay,
so you don't have to set it anymore. But yeah, I used to always have to light it, but you can drag it off the side and
really,
drop it without lighting it.
The only thing you should have in your player once you're spawning in is your shirt, your pants, and your 5 gauze. Everything else should be out. Oh, and your compass, which is in your inventory. Everything else should be gone, right?
Someone suggested we have a beginner to advanced. I have an advanced one if you want to do that as well.
Well, why don't we do that every week? Each week we'll start off with our beginner tip, and then we'll have an advanced tip. So we'll do that then.
Okay, and so all right, so that's the initial, just getting you started in BR. Here is a more advanced tip in BR. You can now stack bandages in BR. So if you have 4 bandages, and let's say you have 40% damage, each bandage is 10% healing. Mm-hmm. So you need to look at that. Let's say you take 40% damage and you have 4 bandages that you can use. Stack, keep right-clicking and using those. It will more quickly fill up that 40% worth of health. You don't have to wait till it used to be you had to wait until the bandage was totally done healing and repeating it. Repeating it would just start the timer over, and it wouldn't actually stack that. Like, say you did 2 bandages, it wouldn't actually give you 20% worth of health.
Yeah.
So now you can actually get that 20% worth of health. If you stack 3, it'll give you 30%, but it will make the timer go up that much more quickly. So you can get 30% within about a bandage worth of time.
Yeah, there you go. So that's a nice handy tip if you're under fire. So there's our first ever. I'm sorry.
He did ask in chat. He said, "Is the healing over time? Is it the same?" I did a test, so I did a couple bandages in a row, and it still gave me those full 10% increments.
Okay.
So there's not a penalty for stacking bandages that I've seen.
That's nice. That's good to know, actually. Because before you would. Okay, no, that's good. And plus the other thing in Battle Royale, just a general thing.
Yeah.
Manage your inventory. Like sometimes you have a lot of downtime. Like keep your bandages and all your first aid stuff, together up at the top. Keep your stuff together, because the worst thing, and I have this, is when you're under fire, your adrenaline goes up and you start freaking out.
Yeah.
And you start freaking out. You're like, well, where's my first aid kit? Where's my first aid kit? Where's my first aid kit? You're freaking out up and down your inventory looking for stuff. Keep all your stuff organized. It'll make your life a whole lot easier. So there's tip of the week. Week 1, just some Battle Royale tips.
We'll have to write these down to make sure we never repeat them. So
next week's tips, how to spawn into Battle Royale, some key things to drive out of your inventory in the waiting area. And I think...
let's keep repeating one of them every week, and we'll be like, act like we don't know.
Landgun is making us a graphic for it. He said there was that awkward silence as Brian and I are both sitting here. And the music is playing.
I was trying to remember how long the music went.
Yeah, so Landgun we'll have a splash screen for next week, hopefully. So
and I already have a tip for next week.
Well,
so
don't tease him, Brian. We'll just.
Yeah, I'm just saying I've already got it figured out, so we'll need to make a list beforehand so we can just go through.
Very nice. There we go. So I want to thank the community members for that. That was a push by some people to get some new segments going and keep the content flowing and all that stuff.
Feel free to suggest if you have a tip of the week, if you have any sort of a tip or suggestion, not only for segments, because this was because of a suggestion from listeners. Also, if you have a suggestion, you want to email us to, is it contact@infectionpodcast.com?
Correct. That's what
That'll
exactly,
go to
that's what
both
it
of
is.
us.
Contact that infection. It's actually right on the homepage of the website. It's at the top. Or you could just use the contact form on the website. Or Twitter, or in the Steam group. I mean, really, just if you have some Twitch message, whatever. If you've got something, let us know.
Yeah. So go and do that. Now, do you want to go to the patch notes that actually happened a couple days ago?
Yeah, let's bang these out quick. These are quick because they're already implemented into the game. So the first thing is the M9 pistol has been added to the game. It can be found in the regular core of the game. Is there ammo yet? I don't think there is. Not in the core game.
So in VR, there's ammo for this M9, but there's not ammo for it in the regular. And I would assume maybe they're not putting the ammo in because perhaps they'll want you to craft this ammo, or maybe they'll be releasing it later.
It was a little weird that it wasn't in the servers, but it was in Battle Royale. I used it in Battle Royale. It's actually pretty good. I like it. It's
maybe they're wanting to fix the bugs with it, because the problem is they destroy vehicles in one clip right now.
Oh, do they? Okay.
The M9. So you can destroy a vehicle just unloading your clip on it.
All right. Well, that's a problem.
So that's something that if it was in regular game, you'll look at more complaints about it. I assume that's why they're testing it in Battle Royale, and then they're going to later put it in the regular game.
Yeah. Now, another bug that they fixed was one where you could use a branch to chop down a tree. We actually used that a few times from inside of our base. I can't believe it went this long without them patching it. That has now been fixed. Zombie densities have been increased.
Definitely.
Wow, have they ever been increased?
And actually let me move up. I've got some things about those zombies here a little bit later.
So I'm actually going to show a picture on screen right now. This was taken right after a server restart on Walker Empire, and we all logged in, and instantly we had swarms of zombies swarming our base. We were blowing them up with landmines. We were just having a good time with the zombies there. So zombies are, I wouldn't say that they're not that tough to kill, but the amount of them now could make it overwhelming if you're one person.
Yeah.
So,
well, if you get surrounded by 6 of them, 7 of them, there's a good chance you're going to die, because you won't be able to kill them in time before the last one kills you.
Yeah.
If they're on you and actually hitting you at the same time.
So zombies are now more of a threat in the game. If you're rolling in a large group or you have a gun, not as big of a problem. But it's nice to see that they're addressing the zombie problem, because it was definitely something that needed to be addressed. Landmines and bear traps should be much more responsive now. That's a huge thing. You can now harvest blackberries with sticks while holding guns. That was always the biggest pain. You'd always have to either go to your fists or to an arrow or something to harvest blackberries. You can now enter a vehicle that is parked in a bush. This happened to me in Battle Royale all the time. I'd park my car somewhat near a bush. I wouldn't be able to enter it. And anti-cheat. They are still working on their efforts to ban players and keep that whole thing fresh. So
now, the one thing I was going to mention on the landmines and bear traps, I'm assuming that sometimes you would walk almost over a landmine, or a zombie would walk over a landmine and it wouldn't explode. So I'm thinking
zombies walking over landmines do not blow them up.
Okay, so
at least as of yet,
making it so that when they say it's much more responsive, maybe that it actually triggers. I think that's what they mean by responsive.
Now, if zombies are supposed to blow up landmines, I can confirm to you it doesn't work, because right after the March 27th patch, we were placing landmines around the base, and somebody was farming the zombies, getting them to walk over them. They weren't blowing up, and then he accidentally stepped on them and blew himself up with all the zombies. So the zombies are currently not, unless they did a hotfix for it, which I don't think they did, they're not setting off landmines, or it's extremely buggy. One or the other.
Yeah. So that's something they're going to have to keep fixing, is making it so that you can do that. And I'm not going to. I have another tip of the week, but I'll put that on the list.
Yes.
So the zombies. So here's a post that was on Reddit talking about the zombies increase. And this is someone saying that they need to have more zombies in the cities, less in the wilderness, because there's still some zombies that are out in the middle of nowhere. That it does make sense to have some of them there, because some will wander away. Not everybody lives in a populated area. For us, Pleasant Valley has a much higher, well, we're near Pleasant Valley. We have a very high zombie density next to us, but that's because there's a lot of us there. I think that downtown, even if we're not there, I think downtown should have more zombies in it, downtown Pleasant Valley, so that when we do go there, it's not that they build up and start appearing from nowhere, but that they're already there, to where maybe it's kind of tough to drive through without having to weave through them through downtown. Or maybe there are in buildings, like those apartments. Have them throughout the building, the apartments, so that when you go through, one person's not going to go and loot all the ammo. You have to take a group with you to clear those apartments. That, to me, makes more sense.
Yeah.
That would make it to where you're not having one person, or make it a danger to the hackers. They can still teleport out. But if they could keep a way to have them continually taking damage and drawing aggro, and maybe even if they're clipping out of it, make it so they don't drop aggro, so they just get thousands of zombies either lagging them out or killing them eventually if they ever stop. That would be kind of a fun thing to do.
Yeah, it would be interesting to try.
And then I put a lot of links to some different screenshots of the zombies. I wasn't sure if you wanted to show those.
I showed mine earlier, but we can pull up some of these ones as well.
But yeah, these are some different perspectives of just showing zombies just coming up to bases. We had at least 100 zombies around our base as we were hanging out, because they just keep coming. If you have a large number of people on the base like we do, they just keep gaining the number of zombies that are around you, to where we end up with at least 100 zombies all sitting around the base.
Yeah. So I'm showing one more picture here, and then there's the last one. So you can see, even though they're not, it's nice. It's nice to see that. It's nice to see that they're doing something with the zombies, right? I mean,
because how many times did we whine that zombies were not a big part of the game?
All the time, every single week, complaining the zombies aren't this, zombies aren't that. The zombies are in the game now. It's nice, but they got to do something else with the zombies. I mean, they're not hard to kill. Right, you kill headshots with bows and arrows. But it's not that hard.
I had to have 100 arrows with me though around the base.
But that was also, it depends on the population of your server, how long it was since a server restart. I mean, what's the spawn rate of these zombies? Because I know a lot of these screenshots that are taken, it was right after the patch.
No, this is consistent.
That is consistent.
Even after reboots over a long period of time. Like if tonight when we're in game, because we'll have a decent number of people are in the base probably tonight. Mm-hmm. There will be a large number of zombies, at least 100 zombies around the base.
Okay, interesting.
But we did put down a lot of punchy sticks, and so that has decreased it. But if we didn't have those punchy sticks there would be 100 zombies within 20 minutes.
Okay, well, that's good to know then. I honestly I didn't honestly expect them to spawn at such a rapid rate. I would expect it to be server restart, crap ton of zombies.
And that's what I was thinking it was initially. When it first happened, I thought, oh, this is just because of the restart. But then they didn't dissipate. Like there are times when there are more or less, but when the zombies come, tons of them come. And it's not just because of server resets.
Well, that's good to know. Keeping it populated with zombies.
So now another new thing. There's a video here. I don't know if you want to show it, but the new crate skins that they have a number of new crates. So they had the V1, so their initial set of crates that they did. That if you have the old ones, you can still get some keys for. But now they have a whole new set of crates with new skins and new all different shirts and hats and pants. And I'm sure they're going to maybe be adding some of the new the shoes and gloves to these as well. But if you look, this shows how it does the somewhat of a casino type of a spin to show where they're at. They have helmet skins. I'm waiting to see the actual helmet, not the motorcycle helmet, but the military style helmet skins, because right now they're all blue.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a Wheel of Fortune wheel. It just kind of just goes up and around, and it's nice because you can visually see that there's more than one option. Currently, when you open crates or stuff, it's just like, here you go, here's your item. Like, whoop-de-doo, you got something. Now it's like you can visually see which other options are. You're like, the suspense is there. You're like, I really want this hat. You're one click above it or below it, something like that. So even though it's no different, visually it makes it look like it's actually doing something.
Yeah. And so that's the thing is this is where they're going to make their money. So if they can come up with more ideas, there are people in our clan that buy these keys, that they like having all these different skins. For me, I like having certain skins. It gives me a reason to do battle royale, like the camo polo that I have, or the camo flannel that I have. I really like that. I really need to get some camo pants, so that's going to keep me either doing BR or trying to get those crates. That would give me a reason to do that, so I can get enough of them to where I get those camo pants that I want, so I can, when I go into BR, I have the camo that I want.
Yeah, which for a lot of people is pretty important. Now, we talked about a total dam redo, and there was a picture posted on Twitter earlier this week, and here's the picture right here. It's more like, it looks like a dam control room.
Yeah, so that's the interior of the dam.
Yeah, there's some computers here, some valves and control switches, all that kind of stuff. So this is a little bit... I imagine that this dam place, the inside of the dam is going to be a lot like the police station. It's going to be high traffic. You're going to have people taking it over.
Yep.
That's just kind of what I hope to... It's nice it's in the center of the map. It's far enough from Pleasant Valley where you could say, all right, we're going to go take over the dam, and if they're spawning enough ammo and stuff in there, it'll be worth you holding off the dam from other people or other clans. So
Yeah.
I hope this becomes kind of a hotbed over by Misty Peak.
And I did see, and I was trying to find it, but I can't find it right now. There was a video or a picture of the outside concept of the dam.
It's an old picture. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really old picture, so that's probably changed a lot, but it's going to be quite a bit bigger. It's a much bigger infrastructure. Right now it's pretty small, so they're making it a much larger thing to go and capture and to see. So, and you can run on and go to different sections. It's not just a wall. That's the dam, pretty much what the dam is right now. So that'll be interesting to see what kind of a side game they turn this into.
Yeah, now let's talk about the craftable lighting system. This is finally something that Daybreak is working on, a lighting system. Right now it's the torches. They're annoying, they're inconsistent, and they honestly don't light stuff that well. So there's actually a
straw poll in here, so if you want to post that picture first so that people in the live stream can see what it is, and then we'll have a link to the image and a link to the straw poll in the show notes. But on here they actually have a picture of suggestions, and they want to know from the community, which of these crafted light systems do you prefer?
Now, currently A is winning, which is the one farthest to the left, and that's the one that's like the most bare-bones survival realistic one. B and C look like they were manufactured in a wood mill. D is like a paint can in metal, not like that. A looks cool.
But if you have that piece of the lighting, why would you make the cans? You know, it's like that's almost too intricate. The one on the left is the most realistic for a very rough system.
Yeah, it's car headlights and it's car headlights and a battery. That's all it is.
And sticks.
Yeah, exactly. B and C are like completely way too manufactured. I mean, aesthetically they're more pleasing, but for a zombie survival game, they don't make any sense.
I mean, they can have it to where maybe if you raise your skill at the workbench, you can make something that looks more intricate, but make one that you can do with branches. I mean, that's probably what's going to be is branches, headlights, a battery, and maybe they add wiring or something like that.
Well, what they need to do is, let's say, so A is like the basic survival one. Let's say A's light range is not as far as B's light range. You know, B is the more produced one, stuff like that.
And it has a long. It's not going to wear down and break so quickly. People can't destroy it so easily.
Exactly. So maybe inside your base you need 5 of the 6 of the A light switch or lamps or whatever you want to call them, but maybe you only need 2 or 3 of the Bs because they're more produced, they're better crafted, and there's a better result from them. So that's something to also look at as well. But right off the bat, I would say most people are not going to be producing that second one. It's just it's way too manufactured.
And the fourth one, I like the idea. A lot of this, if you're thinking about it, the crafting materials is going to take to make this. If you do the third one, C, you're going to have to come up with sheet metal. You're going to have to come up with wood, planks, the headlights, the battery. I mean, there's no reason that they couldn't do all of these as far as maybe one of the 2 middle wood ones The first one and the third one give you different options for crafting materials. But yeah, the one that's going to be the smallest, they could definitely do 2 tiers. One is a very basic one. One has the more advanced crafting materials.
True. So there you go. That was nice. And they did the straw poll, which was nice. And currently A is winning with 2,434 votes. B's in second place with 1,821 votes. So A's probably going to win it out. But there's not a reason
that's going to definitely be a thing that people will want to use in the base, because it gets, once they make the night darkness and the daylight, right now it's what, 50-50 almost for the dark versus light times. It gets so dark to where the game isn't as enjoyable at night because you can't see the detail of everything.
Yeah.
It's dark almost too much of the percentage of the time. So maybe they make it to where you have enough lighting in your base. At nighttime, people come home. They come to their base. They do whatever in their base. They hang out, and it's not just constant dark. Give that to where, or if there's an area that people want to have lit to do something, they can light it with these things. So,
yeah, so actually, this is cool. I don't know how to pronounce his name, Brian. You want to take a shot of this guy's name in chat?
H1Z1?
H1Z1 posted a screenshot from Adam Clegg's developer spotlight. And
okay, this is where I saw that.
It's a picture, or supposed picture, of what the dam might look like. And I mean, as you can see from this, compared to the current dam, this looks like a legitimate dam. There's water flowing. There's at least 2 buildings that you can enter. This is good. I like this.
And yeah, it's definitely going to be something you go to now and work your way through.
Yeah.
So this was what I was thinking of that they were coming up with. This is done from inside of there. If you look at the little globe there on the upper left, that's showing perspective. This is in their little utility. This isn't a live shot from inside of the game, but this should be pretty close to what it will look like.
Yeah, I hope so. So that's kind of what we can expect this week.
Yeah.
It should be a pretty busy week. I guess we're moving to a different server. Don't know how that's going to work. Don't know what server we're going to go to, but I guess that's the general consensus.
That's something we'll discuss. Maybe we'll have a discussion in game with a bunch of the people tonight. I think I kind of know what they want, but I'd like to hear all of their perspectives, and we can talk about it in TeamSpeak.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like we're going to have a rough time backtracking the last 11 weeks, telling people to go play on a different server. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And one thing, I did put a link to some tactical gear. I don't know if you want to show that really quick.
Yeah, let's do that.
So this is a tweet that they put out, just some concept art of what they're looking with tactical gear. Because I know a lot of people have been looking at what gear can I get that's military style. Whether it's on here, they show everybody having knee pads, camo vests that have a bunch of different slots for grenades that they're going to be adding, and all these different things in there. Here's some concept of what they're looking at. I think that this is what they need to do to really differentiate the beginning player. Because right now, if someone has a helmet and a shirt, they're pretty much max geared, possibly. Make it to where these things you gain, and the person that's a fresh spawn versus the person that is geared is much more of a difference, like visually. To where when you see someone from far away, just because they have a helmet on and a camo vest, doesn't necessarily mean that they're truly a geared player.
Yeah. Now, Unjet is making an interesting point in chat. He's saying you don't have to backtrack. Expect listeners to stay current. They want to be up to date on the info. Anyway, it's a good point. I don't want to leave Walker Empire, go to another server, and then see Walker Empire being like a medium high pop server all the time.
Yeah, I don't want us to get in. I'm really worried about us getting into where we have people that aren't logging in just because there's not enough to do.
Yeah,
and nothing is happening. I want to keep the momentum of having everybody come in and looking forward to getting into the game and going to Pleasant Valley, because right now we could go to Pleasant Valley and realistically, what are we going to do? I mean,
exactly. I mean, go to the police station for a little.
We'll go hold the police station for an hour. We'll go get through the apartments. Mm-hmm. There's a limited. So we've been doing a lot more battle royale, but I think that if we had a much higher population server, it would incentivize people to go and play regular versus BR a lot more. And we have to have that population to do it. And even if we're not the top clan in the server, that would give something to move towards.
Yeah. I guess so. Well, I don't know. I guess we just got to figure out what. The problem is once the server. I don't know. I haven't been monitoring what servers are currently high pop. I mean, I guess that's something to just look at now.
Yeah, there's a couple that we've been looking at. We actually had a couple nights ago where we had different people go to different servers and kind of just go check out their downtown. I went on blackout to downtown, and there was a decent number of people there, more than on our normal server, but it still wasn't like there's tons of people down here.
But here's the thing. Once the server wipe happens, people may move. People will move because currently you don't want to move your server because you're already on it. And you've already got your stuff. So after a server wipe, you may be like, all right, well, this server's no good anymore. So who knows?
Mondo says we should raid bases. Part of the issue is, and I think his is one that we raided. We go through and we've raided all the active. Once you've raided all the active bases, there's only a limited number of bases that we can go do. So I think for us, maybe one thing I noticed on the higher population servers is there are smaller clans that are holding those truck stops in those smaller towns or small areas. There are actually people there holding those towns. And so that's it. There's like a stage of as you grow, you move up and hold a bigger area. Maybe I think that for us, that would be a much better target of having maybe a clan that's bigger than us, even that we're going to go and take them out. Possibly. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So I guess we will. So currently on the website, we've got a. Let's see. What's the page that we have here?
So I added a join us page on the website. So if you go to the clan menu item, and you want to know, and this will be updated. So once we make the decision of here is the server we're going to be on, we'll have it on here. We'll have the how do you name your character, which we already put on there. It's like, for me, it would be Infected Brian. But we will update that to where you can go on and pick your name, pick the right server, and join us. So that will be updated as soon as we make a decision on which server we're going to stick on. So right now it says join Walker Empire server in H1Z1. If we change that to a more populated server, you can go in there and check out that page. Also, I added a clan photos area. So if you have pictures of us doing clan activities, or maybe you're hanging out with people in the clan, take pictures as you're running around and doing things, and share that on your Steam, and then let me know that they're on there, or go into go somewhere, upload them, and then share me the links. That way I can go in, download them, and add them to our page. But I'd like to add more photos to this. This is just some of the different clan activities that we've been doing. And someone in chat's asking or saying the Walker rules is only PvP. So the server that we're doing is PvP. There's no first-person rule. That's something that I don't think people would be happy if we went to a first-person only server.
No, we'll be staying on strictly the PvP servers. No recipe wipes.
And we could decide later if they come up with more rule sets that give us a reason to switch over to those. Something that gives us that extra challenge. We could make that decision later, but for now, I think a regular PvP server is good for us.
Yeah. So I think that'll do it. Brian Aldridge from at Boise Computer on Twitter.
Yep.
Thank you.
And also make sure you check our website. Join us after the game. Are you going to be playing it all tonight, possibly? Uploading. No. It's not broken into two pieces because it didn't crash this time.
It's still about an hour upload, so.
But I'll be on there tonight.
Brian
if you're listening live, jump on. We'll play some BR. Get into the regular. See if we can go and find a clan on there or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be playing tonight. Jump onto our TeamSpeak. If you want to know how, go on to infectionpodcast.com, click clan, click join us. That'll tell you how to get into everything and play with us tonight.
Yeah. Now, the one thing, we do the show live. I don't think I've mentioned this in a few weeks, but we do the show live. It's every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And it's twitch.tv/infectionpodcast. I know a lot of people listen after the fact. If you're around, if you've got a Twitch account, join us. You can see all the stuff we're doing. We have our active chat. You'll be part of the show. All that stuff is available. Like I said, our website, infectionpodcast.com. Everything is there. Everything you need. If you missed a little part of the show, something like that, You can check all of that out at infectionpodcast.com. So my name is Nick Craig. At Gamecast Live is my Twitter handle. Infectionpodcast.com is the website. And we'll see you guys next week for Infection. See ya.